those initial seconds, people are going to decide whether they like you or whether they don't like you. Being able to have conversation skills where people are excited to talk to you and you're excited to talk to them, it opens up so many doors to you. Today's conversation is going to be all about communicating with people. This is going to be really useful for any situation, whether you're trying to build rapport with your in-laws, with your kids, whether you're on a date, whether you're traveling in a country, in Belize, in Mexico, you're always going to be encountering people. And the most important skill that anyone can ever learn in life is how to communicate. And the problem is with communication today, it's very hard to find people that will actually listen to you. And by no fault of anyone, it's just that we people are always distracted, right? We listen to reply. We don't listen to hear the other person and to understand their point of view. We're always in our heads and we're thinking, okay, once he stops talking, I'm going to jump in and tell them my idea, just so I don't sound stupid or I want to sound smarter. Look, we all do it. However, what happens in a conversation is you are talking to somebody and you could be there for an hour and you leave that conversation feeling like, number one, you haven't been heard, you haven't been understood, you haven't even had a chance to give your opinion. And then the other side will probably feel like, oh, this is like a therapy session for me. I've said everything. Yeah, you've said everything, but were you actually listening to the other person? Hell no. One of the skills that I've learned back in the day is active listening. And I'm still learning about it. And today I'm going to give you was it 7 or 6? I believe it's 6. 6 tips on how to actively listen. Well, first and foremost, when you're in a conversation with somebody, think about having 85% of your essence, of your energy, directed, that is the word, directed towards the other person. So you are listening to them. If they're telling you a story, you're reacting, your eyebrows go up, maybe you nod, you put your head like this, your hand, your phone, your goddamn phone is not anywhere around. It is facing down on the table. You're not looking over the shoulder, you're not checking out the waiter's ass, nothing. And the other 15%, you are aware of your surroundings. If somebody runs in with a gun, you're able to get up and you're able to, get out of the situation. Now, the first tip on how to actively communicate is to adapt to the person, right? There, there is a big imbalance, right? When you see two people talking and one person is like super animated, they're telling a story, and oh my God, I cannot believe it. And their voice is going up and it's just all dramatic. And then the other person's like, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. If a person is more dramatic and if their voice is raised and if they use their gestures, try to apply some of these gestures as well. Don't fake it too much. But if you're someone who's comfortable at, playing around a bit, mimic their gestures. If the person leans into you, right, they're telling you a story, it's like, God, yeah, nah," and you're leaning back, okay? After a minute, just like lean forward as well. Really? Oh, interesting. If the person, like, this is more more professional, like negotiators, the police force, psychologists, they use this to build rapport with their clients. Because if you think about it, a psychologist's intention is in the first like 5-10 minutes immediately they need to build a connection with a client. They need the client to trust them, to be more predisposed to them. When we mirror another person's behavior, it makes them feel like there's a more of like a connection between two of you. It's like, oh, she understands me. And you think people will notice when you mirror them, but they actually don't. They don't notice it. And there's been studies where they show, the experiment and the person on whom the experiment is being done. they don't notice it at all, even though they're mimicking them. Subtle gestures. For example, he opens up his jacket, unzips his jacket. You also unzip your jacket. She's showing her wrists, for example. She's putting her hands down on the table. You put your hands down on the table. It works really well. The next one, guys, is in a conversation, be sure to ask open-ended questions. Every once in a while, ask open-ended questions, right? For example, da 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 da. Oh, really? Tell me more about that. That sounds interesting. You went to college in XYZ. Oh, really? I went there as well. How was your experience with it? And it allows the person to feel like, okay, they're interested in what I'm saying. Instead of butting in with, oh, you went to, say, whatever, UCC in Cork. Well, I went to UCC in Cork, and guess what? I did this in Cork, and I did this in Cork, and the person feels like, oh my God, I had a story here, but now that story's not going to go anywhere because I felt interrupted. Right? We're always interrupting people. Every one of us is always interrupting people, and I remember some of the best conversations I've had were actually with people who just allowed me to tell my story. It's beautiful. When you give people that experience, when you make people feel heard, like they will cling on to you and they will always want to come back to you and they will want to repeat that experience. There is absolutely nothing more seductive to a person than to feel desired, to feel heard, to feel like they have this power of being attractive. The opposite of that is you're ignored, you're powerless, your opinions don't matter. We always want to make the person feel like they are heard. Their opinion is interesting. That's super interesting. Tell me a little bit more about that. Okay. The the next point is we also want to ask what is it called? Confirmation questions. So a confirmation question is you understand or you hear what the person is talking about. Say, oh, I'm going through this difficult time in my marriage. You summarize it, or you even use the last words that they've used and say, am I hearing right? So you're struggling with your marriage because there's not a lot of communication there. Is that correct? Yes, yeah, exactly. Oh, that is exactly why I feel what I feel like. Allow the person to hear that you've heard them. That has an extremely seductive effect on people. Make people feel like you've listened to their story. And also, it gives you the chance it grounds you, it paces you, it prevents you from butting in with your story. Now, the next one is pretty interesting, is when you mirror the other person's words. Every one of us, we go around this world and we have our own way of describing things. Okay? For example, one person might say, oh, it's torrential rain today. Another person is going to say it's been pissing rain today. The other person is going to say it's been raining cats and dogs, right? When you're speaking to somebody or you want to create that a bit of affinity there, if they say, oh, girl, it's been pissing raining today, don't say, oh, don't reply back, yeah, it's crazy. It's like I can't go out because it's been raining cats and dogs. No, not cats and dogs. To you, cats and dogs and pissing rain is the same thing. But to the other person, it's completely different things. You say, yeah, I need to put on my rain jacket because it's pissing rain today, right? You use their words. And again, you think people are going to be like, what, why are you copying me? Are you copying me? People don't notice. People, in fact, their eyes light up when you mirror back to them what they have just said to you. It's like, oh my God, she understands me. Okay. The next one, guys, is when there's a genuine reason to compliment someone, compliment them. And if you're really struggling to find a reason to compliment them, find something about their story. Sometimes when people are telling you a story, for example, you're on a date with a girl and she's telling you how she's been sending off college applications to XYZ You can identify from the story that, yes, the facts are that she's sending out college applications, but there's another meaning to this story, and the meaning is that she is working hard. She's persevering. She is going over and beyond, right? She find that and you compliment her on that. Wow, it sounds like you're someone who's really dedicated. You really want to study. Your parents must be really proud of you. And suddenly you steer away from the facts. Yeah, the facts is like she's studying to be a doctor, but the feeling behind is like she's someone who wants to make a change in the world. She's caring. You must be a really caring person. Your friends must be really proud of you of having someone in their circle who's always looking out after them. Find a connecting story and try and always find the best in people. There's other people who will, you're telling them a story and they're like, yeah, no, no, I just I don't really think that's the right thing to do, or that's cool, but I probably would do that myself. And look, we've all been there. I've been there myself. Which leads me to the last point, guys. The last tip on how to make people more predisposed to you is to never give advice. This might sound a bit strange because it's like, well, how are we meant to get constructive feedback, right? There is a way of delivering advice and constructive feedback in a more eco-friendly way. Okay. Most of the time, people don't ask for advice or just don't give it to them. But there's going to be situations where someone needs real advice. For example, you're with a girl, you're whatever, girlfriend, and she's showing you a dress. Babe, how does this look? And she looks like a potato. She looks like a frumpy potato. Ugh. You don't say, you look like a frumpy potato. There's three things you do. This is what I call the sandwich. This this camera is so strange. The sandwich. Number one is you find something that you like. Oh, babe, yeah, that's a lovely color. You definitely hit the nail on the head with color. Really brings out your eyes. Number two, but personally for me, I don't think the waist is working. I know that you have another dress there and it cinches on your waist so nicely. It makes you look so sexy. I kind of like that one better. But it's up to you. Whatever feels comfortable, whatever you feel sexy in, go for it. Now, there's going to be other cases. Actually, this probably wasn't a good example because when a woman asks a man, how do I look? How do I look? Sometimes you just want to hear, babe, the black dress. You look amazing in the black dress. You want the man to be more like dominant and to kind of almost direct you like that black dress. But in any other situation when you're giving constructive feedback, for example, she's like, what do you think of my essay? Right? My essay. And you've identified a section where it's like that is bullshit. Okay. Oh, I like your use of language here. Actually, that's a really good point you brought up here. Personally, I would probably rephrase this section because it's a little bit confusing. But overall, it's pretty good. Overall, yeah, it's working for me. I came across this interesting psychologist, psychotherapist, Milton Erickson, and he has these rules. And one of those rules is that at any given moment in time, we each have enough resources to move on to the next step. If I want to make 10K a month, right? I am on step one. I have the resources today, here, right now, to take the next step. To go on to step two, maybe it's to do market research, maybe it's to upload a video. For example, upload my first live on Substack. We have those resources. We don't have resources to jump onto step 10, but we can definitely get to step 2. And your job as a conversationalist, as a therapist, as a coach, as a friend, as a girlfriend, as a boyfriend, as anyone, is to help the person go to that next stage, direct them to it, right? When they ask you for an opinion, You don't want to tell them like, okay, do this, this, and this, because sometimes people are kind of stubborn. They just don't like being told what to do, so they will do the other thing. And then if they hear that, then the same advice that you've given them, they will hear it in a YouTube podcast. And like it's going to be for them, oh, wow, that's a really good idea. And you're like, yeah, I said that to you like last week. You did, but they didn't listen to you because it's that little bit of stubbornness is there. And probably it's because you've delivered it in a non-delicate way. So when people are asking you advice, you could kind of deflect it back to them. Well, what do you think? I mean, let's look at this together. You want to buy property A, you want to buy property B. If you buy property A, this happens. If you buy property B, this happens. Let's figure this out together, right? You're not directing them. You're saying, I'm here for you. Let me guide you. Let me direct you. What's your opinion? I think this could work, but let's hear what you've got to say. And they probably have it in their head already. They know exactly what they want to do. They just kind of want your confirmation, your solution to it. Okay. Um, so yeah, the last one, just to kind of summarize, when you're giving constructive feedback, use the 3 layers. Number one is you are complimenting on the thing that works. That's a really good idea. Like, I like the hair color. I like how that fringe suits you. But in my opinion, I prefer you with longer hair. It frames your face better. But at the end of the day, it's your decision. You decide. Okay. So I hope you enjoy the live. I'm very happy that there has been no technical issues. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah.